Welcome to the Pocket. My name is Scooter, and here for you guys today, I have my Week 17 preview for the Giants game at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Colts quarterback, Anthony Richardson, is out for this week. He will not be playing. Fortunately for them, they've had a serviceable backup who was serviceable last year, Joe Flacco. And although they did eventually return to Richardson, Flacco was pushing, right? He was lighting a fire under Richardson the whole season, right? Richardson had that weird game where he pulled himself out of the game because he was tired, and that was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and they rolled with Flacco for a few weeks. But yes, here we are again now. Richardson is out and Flacco is playing. I would say overall, it still gives them like a solid chance to win. They have won games with him. He's playing against Drew Lock, who's being supported by this Giants roster. So I don't really think it changes too much. I don't know what the updated lines are for Vegas, but beforehand they were over under 40 and a half. It was Indianapolis minus 7.5. And obviously the Colts were projected to win. So, like I said, I don't think this changes too much, but just thought you guys should know. And also important to note, Malik Nabers is questionable. And especially this late in the season, with the amount of weeks that he's been questionable heading into it, I would not be too surprised if we just asked him to sit out this week and basically the rest of the season. I mean, he broke Odell's rookie record for receptions. And other than that, like, what are you really going for this year? I mean, you're not going to break a receiving yards record, most likely. You're not going to break a touchdown record. And we just need to have our players healthy heading into next year. I mean, it would really be a shame. I'm not saying if he's like healthy enough to play that he shouldn't, but I'm just pointing out this is just the reality of the situation is that we've got nothing to play for this year. All we need to do is lose, right? I mean, I've never been in this situation before as a Giants fan where with only like 2 to 4 weeks left to go, you hold the number one overall pick. And as a team, if you hold the number one overall pick with 4 weeks left, your season's over. And you might as well just lose out, get that number one overall pick, and improve your future because the difference between 1 and 2 is insane. In every single draft class, even in a class like this year where the quarterbacks aren't too great, having that number one overall pick is still something that there is a team out there who would be willing to acquire it at the very minimum, or you can just take the best player, right? So obviously that helps you so much. If I didn't say it already, my simple prediction for this, I made it in my score predictions video, is 24-16, and that was when Richardson was assumed to be playing. Honestly, I'm not going to change it. Flacco definitely is a completely different quarterback from Richardson, but I think overall the effectiveness of the offense will be the same. Maybe the Giants are able to hang in there a little bit more on offense if, Flacco isn't providing that running element, and chewing up the clock. Maybe the Giants have more time of possession, but like I said, overall, I just don't think it's going to change too much. So we talked about, the draft positioning for the Giants and where we are at in this season. Another thing to mention is the Colts need to win this game to make the playoffs. They're currently tied with the Dolphins and the Bengals. The Bengals play later today, so we will know what the case is with them. And the Dolphins just got news that Tua is not going to be able to play this week. He's downgraded to doubtful, so he could, but most likely he's not going to. So the Colts need to win this game desperately for their season. This is two completely opposite approaches and perspectives of a Week 17 football game. We have a team that holds the number one overall pick, and they really need to just keep losing in order to hold that pick for their future. And then we have a team that it's not like they've clinched the playoffs. That's almost a little bit more relaxed. You are playing like this is essentially a playoff game because if you lose, you're out. So if I were you, I would say the best bet, if you're asking, is probably just straight up Colts money line. I don't know about the spread. If you want to do an alternate spread of like Colts minus 2.5, that's fine. I'm sure they'll beat us by a field goal. But just in the strange case that Flacco has a bit of an off half or something and the Giants are able to keep it close and the Colts only manage to win by 1 or 2 points, just put a bunch of money on Colts money line. Don't gamble what you can't afford to lose, but I'm just speaking my mind right here. If I'm going to make a bet on this game on Sunday, I'm just going to put a decent chunk of money on the Colts money line and just hope that they win. So yeah, that's about it. There's really not much to go over this week with the Giants. Much like many other weeks in the past, you guys have seen me doing more NFL content. I want to elaborate more on the Giants, plans for the future and things like that. And I can do a little bit of that before we close out this video, but we're going to have plenty of time in the offseason to really dive deep into it. So if you're waiting for my take on that, don't you worry. There's going to be plenty of that coming. But yeah, just our future moving forward from this point. I mentioned it earlier in the video. I've never really been in this situation where you just kind of get to think from week 17 about who you're taking number one overall. And I'm not trying to jinx anything. I don't think we're going to win a game. Philly, please don't throw it against us week 18. But yeah, I've never been in this situation, and it feels like a little bit of a relief, even if we don't do the right thing with the number one overall pick. At least we're starting fresh, right? So, yeah, at least have that to look forward to. As for the rest of the NFL, I made a score predictions video and a power rankings video combined together. Power rankings was a little late, score predictions was a little early, so I'll give you guys a little bit of a miniature update on some of the injury news that I've gotten that would probably affect some of my takes on these games. Starting things off, it's the Cowboys at the Eagles. Now, Hurts was officially ruled out, so that's a big ding to Philly. But CeeDee Lamb was also ruled out. Now, that's going to change Dallas's offense tremendously, and I think this game could be a blowout. They're just giving up, right? CeeDee's been playing through this injury, it seems, for a couple weeks now, and they're shutting him down. Guys are shutting down. Parsons even said it. He's like, I feel alone out here. But anyway, in my prediction for with Hurts was out, I said Eagles win 21-17, which was Dallas plus 7.5, and that's under 40. Now, I like the under 40 still. Obviously, CeeDee's out, Hurts is out, but the Dallas plus 7.5. See, I have them covering by 4 points with this projection, but I think I would like to change that just a little bit in case you're trying to make an alternate spread. I think they can still cover 7.5 if it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think it's going to be as easy to tell, right? I don't think they're going to do it as convincingly. Right now, I have them losing by 4. I think they'll lose by closer to 6 or 7 this time. So give me Eagles 21-14. We'll keep it pretty much the same. Moving on, we also have important games happening today. The Chargers are playing the Patriots right now. The Chargers are currently fighting for playoff positioning. I mean, they've kind of got it locked in, but they still got to keep winning and taking care of business. They're winning 20-7.5, so that's good for them. Later today, we're going to have 2 other playoff-dependent matchups, which is going to be awesome. AFC, we have Broncos at Bengals at 4:30. These two teams, this is a do-or-die game right here. The Broncos are coming off a tough loss that really hurt their playoff seeding, and now they could potentially slip out of the playoffs if they lose this game. The Bengals need to win this game to get in, and the team they need to replace in the wild card is this Denver Broncos team or the Chargers, right? But let's just assume it's this Broncos team right now because they're the 7th seed. So obviously that's a huge game too. And then we have the Cardinals at the Rams. Haven't gotten many injury updates about these 2 games, but we know the Cardinals, they're actually eliminated, but they can play spoiler against the Rams, who are currently leading for the division, and potentially give a team like Seattle a chance to get in there. So great games on Saturday. That's today, the day of recording. And all the rest of the games this week, they're happening on Sunday and Monday, obviously. I believe it's week 18 where you have no Monday night game. Yeah, they all happen on Sunday, and the season just wraps up. It's here, guys. After this, we have one more week. I'll have a season finale, power rankings, season finale, money line picks, and we'll see how I finished throughout the year. I'll do that recount. We'll figure out exactly how accurate I was, but still believing I'm doing very, very well so far this season. So keep up with those. Don't forget to check out the other videos that I made, like that score predictions and power rankings video. It's doing really well, and I think you guys should check it out if you want my take. So once again, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.